Hi critics queens, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie. In today's episode I will go through deeply why the market did bounce back down from this supply candle that we did have around 47,300. I will also go back down to the lower time frames and show you where I potentially can see the market bounce back down to, but I do have a target where I could potentially sell the market on Bitcoin to the level that I do expect the market to potentially bounce back up again. Remember, I'm no financial advisor. You need to look up everything yourself first, but please continue looking at this video and I will go through deeply analyze on Bitcoin where I think the market can come to and why we can sell the market to that level. So we're looking at Bitcoin and why we are having the resistance and the market is bouncing to the downside. If you're just looking to the left, you can see that we are coming back up, or we came back up and retested this supply candle right here. This is on the 2 weekly chart. If we're going to the weekly, we do have, if this weekly, it is 4 days and 7 hours left of this weekly candle, so obviously a lot of things can happen. But if we're closing like this, we do have an evening star formation against a previous support, which means that this could be where the market is actually continuing and bouncing even more to the downside. If we're going to the daily chart, you can see more clear how the market came up and retested. So going to the 2 weekly chart again, we are just highlighting the body of this 2 weekly candle, and on the daily you can see the market tried to break this level, but the market never had the power to do that. We saw the market try to break it, we came back down, we retested it from below, market then bounced to the downside. We can even see more clear on the 4 hourly chart what exactly happened. You could see the market starting to fail, and these candlesticks that we see right here is just a fake out to the upside. So what we could have done was that taking a Fibonacci from the last high around 47,980 to the low at 44,570. Can you see how perfectly the Fibonacci levels just was where the market did bounce in between? You saw so many wicks to the upside, and this is a clear confirmation that the market is actually continuing to the downside. You saw the market retesting or consolidating in between the 50 and 61% before it did bounce to the downside. What we also could have done for a second entry, looking at the break of the support trend line, you saw the retest. Going to the lower time frames, you can see more clear how perfectly the market actually did retest the level. If we go into the 30-minute chart, you can also have seen more clear what we could have done here if we were unsure about the market actually continuing to the downside. You saw the market break, retest 2 times. The third time, we could have done taking a fib from the last high at 46,030 to the low around 45,836. You saw the market came up and retested these Fibonacci levels also so perfectly. So this could have been a third entry for us to jump into. A lot of confirmations when the market came up to this 2 weekly supply candle. And what can happen potentially now, if we see that the market is coming back down and retest this previous high that we also do have around 42,300. If we are closing below this level, the same thing can happen, is that we are closing below, you see a retest of the same previous resistance, and then that could be where the market is actually having more momentum to the downside. We just might potentially first of all come back down to 37,750, or we just might see the market coming back down to 34,500, but that depends on how we are behaving around this level around 42,300. What we also can do is that we're taking a fib from 40,955 to the high at 47,400, and we can see that we are right now retesting the 50 and 61% where we can expect the market to actually bounce to the upside. But we do have a pretty huge candlestick, so if we now would see the market creating a higher low, what we need to wait for the market to do is break the downtrend, because right now you can see the market in a downtrend. The market is in a heavy downtrend at the moment. So what we want to see is that the market is slowly breaking to the upside and breaking this downtrend, potentially retest this resistance trend line as a new support, and at that point that could be an entry for us to go long in the market. We are in the Fibonacci, between the Fibonacci levels that I did expect the market to actually come back down to. On Bybit, we did have it like this too. We're just zooming in. Last time we were looking on the Bybit chart, also on Bitcoin, I did expect the market to come to these levels, but now because we do have such a huge candlestick on the daily chart, I do want to wait for the market and see if we're just consolidating here and then slowly break to the upside, or if we're actually is breaking to the downside. And as I told you, we see the market coming back down to lower targets. Don't forget that you can receive a bonus on Bybit up to $4,100 by using the link in the description down below the video, and by doing that you are always supporting Bitcoinsensus. So just looking at the daily, we do have a 2 days we've been pretty heavy to the downside, so I do expect the market to continue. We just might see a pullback on the lower time frames, just a little pullback maybe up, and then you see market continues to the downside. So we just might now come up and create another lower high, and then the first target that I'm looking at Bitcoin to come back down to is first of all for the 2,300, and from that level we are either see the bounce to the upside, because the last higher low is actually at 40,940. So as long as we are above this level, we are still in the uptrend. The market can come back down a little bit further to create a higher low and then potentially see the bounce to the upside, because we did break this resistance trend line, we did break the downtrend, but having a bigger pullback, I mean, that could definitely happen. Just let the market do what it's supposed to do now. It's just like a falling knife, so we don't want to catch a knife falling. We can obviously go into the lower time frames and trade the market. We can actually potentially do this. So if we see the market now potentially coming back up and retest for the 4,580 or potentially for the 4,770, from these levels you just might see the market bounce back down again. And can you see how the take profit 2 is perfectly combined with the target that I do expect the market to come to at 42,300. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a alert right here, so in case the market comes to this level, I'm gonna look to buy the market. So crossing up, so now if the market is crossing this line, it will give me a notification, and then I'm gonna look to see if we're having the bearish rejections that we need, and if that is the case, I am selling the market back down to for the 2,300. Thank you so much guys for looking at this video. I hope you did enjoy it. I wanted to go down a little bit deeper on the analysis on Bitcoin. Hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know when I am live or having my daily updates. I wish you everyone a great day.